First story. Homophobic parents physically assaulted and disowned OP for being gay. Now, after 19 years, the narcissistic mom has come back demanding OP to give up his properties as an apology to make things right. And she got herself arrested. My egg donor, my mother hired a PI to find me after 19 years of no contact. Can she just hire someone to invade my privacy like that? Update. My mother contacted me after 19 years. My so-called mother hired a PI to find me after 19 years of no contact. After what she and my sperm donor, whom she calls husband, did to me at 16, she thinks she has the right to even look at me, let alone talk to me. B, I know where you live. If I wanted contact, I would have tried. But not once in the 19 years of no contact have I tried, so F off. I don't care if you're dying and need a body part or if you're broke and need money. You can rot in hell. FFF. Update. My mom hired a PI to find me, and now it's popping up everywhere I go. She wants to talk. I went to the police, and they said that there isn't anything they can do because she's always in a public place, cafes, parks, etc. And she hasn't approached me directly since she sent me an email that I've left unread. How can I get her to leave me alone? Update. I haven't seen her since I was 16, and we were in court. So for 19 years, I haven't had any contact with the mother. She hired a PI to find me, and I still refuse to talk to her. I even had my lawyer send her a formal letter of no contact and threaten her with a restraining order. She sent this email to me through my work email. I shortened it, but basically it said, "To my name, this is her name, your mother. I thought you would have matured by now and come and apologize to me and your father for what you put us through. Because of you, your father lost his teaching career, and we had to sell our house. However, it has come to my knowledge that you own some properties in my area, so it's only right if you give us one of them as an apology, one of my most expensive properties, which would be a good fit for us. As soon as you hand over the keys to property, we can finally start to heal and get past this misunderstanding that you blow out of proportion. I hope you make the right decision." I just can't stop laughing at this. Like, no B, I'm not giving you anything. This is just another bit of evidence to help me get a restraining order against her. Small update. I'd first like to thank you all for the hugs, well wishes, and rewards. I truly didn't believe so many of you would see my post, let alone leave comments. I'm not going to lie. You all gave me a bit of an ego boost. Secondly, I'm in a really good place in my life. What happened to me was over 20 years ago, and though I'll probably never truly be over it, I am happy. Now on to the update. Guess who's on Reddit, and just so happened to see my post. I got another email from her demanding an apology for making her look bad on social media. She has now given us a deadline to hand over the keys to my house. I forgot to tell you all that the most expensive property I own is my family's home. The one where my husband and stepkids live. But she's willing to compromise and take the apartment that I bought for my aunt. Oh, and I'm supposed to let my younger sister, who I've never met, use my 2-bedroom apartment for free. I mean, after reading my post and seeing over 600 comments about how crazy and entitled she is, she still thinks she is in the right. Emailing me on my work email and leaving fake reviews online. She left 2 with her actual name, has given me another piece of evidence of that restraining order. So I guess I should thank her for making it so easy for me. So that's all, I guess. Update. My father put me in the hospital for being gay. 21 years ago, when I was 14, my brother took me to my parents. When I got home, before I could even get through the door, my father started beating me. I can't remember much of it. I just remember walking up with a tube down my throat and my aunt and uncle sitting beside me. I was doing so well with my PTSD until my mother tried to contact me. I've got an emergency session with my therapist on Tuesday, but I need to get this off my chest. My father was never a violent man, and before, I'd say he was my hero. But I always thought my mother loved me. But she only came to visit me to demand that I tell the police that I didn't know who hurt me. Thank God my aunt was there and gave me the courage to tell the police what I knew. God damn it, why can a few emails bring up so much anger and resentment? And I got some information about my father that is making me feel guilty. This just effed up. Update. My father isn't as bad as I thought, and I don't know how to feel. Okay, I wrote a post about my mother emailing me and demanding a property for her and her husband. I just assumed her husband was my father's boy. Was I wrong? After the email, I thought that it was a bit weird for her to contact me out of all her children. Her older sister and brother are in very low contact with them too. But I'd understand if they want to have contact as long as they respect my lack of contact with them. So I called my brother and sister. Both my brother and sister had no clue my mother was harassing me. My sister said that I should come over for a cup of tea, and she could explain something that happened yesterday. My sister or brother respects my lack of contact and doesn't even talk about them when I'm around because, as I asked, they let me know everything. After my father put me in the hospital, he started to spiral into drinking and drugs. My mother divorced him, and when my sister had the first grandchild, he realized that if he had any hope of being part of his grandkid's life, he needed to change. So he went to AA and NA and got into therapy. My mother didn't divorce him because he was drinking. No, she divorced him for getting better because he told everyone she was married to a drunk. It turns out that my father was sawed by a family friend, and when my brother outed me, it somehow triggered him, but with therapy and time, he's doing better. He wants to talk to me and make amends for what he did to me. I don't know if I can. I understand PTSD. I have PTSD, but that is the reason I have it. My mother was married 2 months after their divorce and started her new family because her older kids are such a disappointment. Her words exactly. She thought that after the divorce she would get the house, but she did not, as it was brought by my Nana and Popa, so it is in their name, and she made more than my father. She didn't get alimony, and because none of her children lived with her, she didn't get child support. I have 2 younger siblings, a brother 17 and a sister 16, that I just learned about. I still don't know why she thought I was her best chance. I'm starting to think my mother is a narcissist. Sorry if I rambled, but this is a lot of me. I'm going to see if I can get an emergency session with my therapist. Update 2. My mother thinks she is entitled to one of my properties in rentitled parents. She was arrested. I have 3 properties. 1. The first property I ever bought, and now rent out 2. The big house near water. Aka my forever home 3. The apartment I bought for my aunt or mom after my uncle or dad died. Properties 2 and 3 were not my biggest worries because my mother would only be an annoying family. But 1 is rented out to a lovely couple, and they don't deserve to be dragged into it. Can you guess which one she showed up with too? She showed up and tried to evict my great tenants with a fake eviction notice. She told the girls that she was my mother, and that I gave her authority to evict. However, I had already given the girls a warning about my mother, and if she tried to first call the police and then me, they did exactly as I said. When I got there, my mother was trying to convince the police that I gave them authority to evict them, and I was lying to them to get her in trouble because of an argument we had. But for someone who allegedly hired a PI to find me, she put down the wrong name on those forms. She didn't know that I took my husband's last name, so she was arrested, and I have a temporary restraining order on her, and she is not to come near me or any of my properties. As for my father, I told my sister that if she got my father's therapist's number, I'd give it to my therapist so they can discuss further about possibly having a conversation with him. But only when my therapist and I believe I'm ready. I thought my father would fight me and demand that I see him, but he didn't. He agreed to everything and told my sister that he'd understand if I never felt ready to see him. On a lighter note, my coping methods for stress are building and fixing things. So I converted my old garage into a D&D gaming room for my husband's birthday, and I got me a happy ending, if you know what I mean. That's it. I'll update if anything else happens. Update. My mother is now in a mental hospital. Recap. My mother contacted me after 19 years of no contact to demand that I give her one of my properties. When I said no, she tried to use a fake eviction notice on my tenants, and she was arrested. Apparently, she claims to have had a mental breakdown after finding out that her husband was cheating on her. So the Crown has decided not to proceed with the changes, but the protection order will be left in place. So there is that, I guess. She committed herself to mental faculties, and that's really it. She can't come near me, my family, or our properties. I've also decided to sell the apartment to my tenants. They've been looking for a place to purchase, and when I told them I was thinking of selling, they jumped at the chance, and we are in the middle of negotiations. And that's it. Here's hoping for another 19-year-old no contact. Update. My mother is schizophrenic, and one told us. I posted about how my mother, with whom I had no contact for 19 years, hired a PI to find me and demanded that I give her my property. And she ended up being arrested and sent to mental institutions. After taking it with my husband, we thought it was a bit weird for her to go from 0 to 60 with the crazy. When I voiced my concerns, I was told she was diagnosed with schizophrenia over 40 years ago. And on one thought to tell me or my siblings. I don't know much about schizophrenia, but I believe it's inherited, right? This is something you tell your kids. I think my mother's family was trying to get me to sympathize with her, but I just disliked her more. She withheld important information that could have affected us. I don't have any biological kids, but my older brother and sister do. I'm just so angry right now. Update. My mother is dead. My mother and I are far from close. We haven't talked to each other for nearly 20 years. I despise my mother, so why do I feel so awful about it? She has made my life hell in the last couple of months. I should feel relieved that she's dead, but I don't. I feel disappointed and a little mad. Second story. Entitled NC Parents Return to Sell OP's sister's house after her passing, claiming it as their own, unaware that the sister had named OP as the sole beneficiary of her properties. They then sued OP, losing their other child in the process too. My 36-year-old sister died 6 months ago from a heart condition. She practically raised me, so it's been difficult to deal with. I'm in my final year of university and have failed every single class this semester. She'd be disappointed, but it is what it is. My sister never married and never had children. I lived with her near campus. She ran her successful side business, and I got to help her occasionally as a paid intern. She worked a lot, but not to support us. She wanted to retire by the time she was 40. She would have been done in 4 years, and her heart had to fail her first. When she died, her attorney read her will to me. She had left everything to me. She had a generous amount of money put away for her retirement and side accounts for various activities for her retirement. I did not know that she had made several real estate investments so she could continue living a comfortable lifestyle once she retired. She left her 2006 Subaru to me and willed our current house to me as well. She left nothing to my parents, but as they didn't know she had assets, they willingly paid for the funeral and any other associated costs. My sister had no contact with our parents, and I'm very low contact. We are their only 2 children. At the funeral, my parents asked me how I was going to continue going to college without her money lol. They thought she paid for them. Psych, I have student debt. I told them I'd continue to take out loans. They asked about my living arrangements, and I shrugged. At the time, I didn't know all the details anyway. Well, 2 weeks ago, I found out my parents tried to sell my sister's house while I still lived there. They brought a realtor and toured our home and everything. It was all on the cameras set up in the home. When I called them and informed them I'd be calling the police, they explained the situation. I told them it's my home, and it was willed to me. They couldn't sell it. They were confused heavily. I told them to meet with my attorneys and set a time. Cue today. My attorney explained the will to my parents. My mother went white as a sheet, and my father was grumbling about suing me for his rightful money plus the cost of the funeral. My mother began sobbing, telling the attorney he was wrong, and that her daughter would not leave the house for someone like me. The attorney cut the meeting short, and now we're preparing for the inevitable lawsuit coming my way. I just want to sleep and avoid all of this. Just some added info. Mom is a stay-at-home mom, but like the kind who spends her life at the country club, not the involved kind. Dad is a businessman and is typically on business trips for weeks at a time. They live, as they call it, in the lower upper class. Edit. I didn't expect this to blow up, TBH. Thank you, everyone, for the support. I've gotten to read almost all the comments, and I feel a lot less anxious now. I did talk to my professors, and 4 out of 6 of them gave me extensions, but the other 2 are being jerks about it. It's fine, though. I did sign up for my school's grief group. I just got done changing all my locks too. Thanks to everyone who helped me with home stuff too. I'll be sure to watch the home insurance bill or get a financial advisor or something. My sister's degree and mine are in the same field, so I'll be continuing her business too. And I'll need a real estate attorney to redo the leases on her other rentals, I guess. I don't know why it's overwhelming. Edit 2. Since this keeps coming up, I stupidly gave them a key a few months after she passed. I didn't know they'd even be trying this until after the fact. The will doesn't say anything about them, but I'm leaving it up to the attorney to figure everything out. I will be paying them regardless of the cost of a funeral, a celebration of life, etc. Final update for now. My father sent me a text apologizing, saying he wanted to sell the house because of the market right now, but wouldn't push me. We'll give more details at some point. We'll see how this plays out first, and I'll give an official update at some point. TLDR, my sister died and left me her home. Parents tried to sell it, so I had to explain the will. Now, they're going to sue me. Relevant comments. Shadamaven commented, "It sounds like they messed up since your parents don't seem to understand the estate and will process it. If it were theirs, they would have been contacted. The estate should have paid for the funeral, not them, though." OP replied. The funeral planner tried to say that, but my parents interrupted. Our daughter will want us to pay for everything because we are her parents. That's what parents do. I was thinking of refunding them at the minimum cost of funeral services. Stay Zooted commented. Make sure you get the title put in your name as soon as possible. Depending on where you live, they might require you to go through probate regardless. And that is certainly something you'd rather do sooner than later. If you ever try to sell or refinance the house, it'll be a huge headache for you, and will probably cost you a lot more in terms of extended processing times, if not additional lawyer fees. Source: I work in mortgages, and this is not entirely uncommon. OP replied. The deed was put into my name 3 or 4 weeks ago. It took a pretty long time, so it might have already gone through something. The lawyer said they had to do a search to make sure she didn't have debt, and if she did, they would pay that first, then the funeral, and then I would be able to get the assets. Sister was pretty much debt-free. She had a $200 hospital bill. But yeah, after that, my lawyer called me up to sign a bunch of stuff. And that's when my name was put on the deeds, and they transferred the car's title to my name. Everyone is telling me to sell her rental investments. I'm assuming that's a bad idea then. Update recovered with Rarebit. My father stated he would not challenge the will, but warned us that our mother was still going to try. He said to the attorney, not me, that despite his efforts to convince her, she is saying mental health issues will prevent OP from doing what needs to be done. My sister's best friend Amy was looped in since her mother would be challenging her will, which she is a part of. She's been amazing, and I'm very happy she's around. She used to live with my sister and me, but left when she died, not because I wanted her to. She said it was hard being in our home, but she decided to come back after all of this. I told my attorney that since my sister had money set aside for a funeral anyway, I should offer to at least pay them back. They, Amy and attorney, both agreed it'd be a good idea so my parents wouldn't have a leg to stand on in court. The attorney has another meeting scheduled with my father on Friday or Monday, depending on his availability. Things are going fast, and I didn't expect them to go this fast. It's like my head is spinning. As for school, I had a meeting with the dean and my academic advisor. Finals are next week, so they thankfully moved it up. I explained the situation to them, and they were apologetic and let me know they'd talk to me, teachers. The dean got back to me today and said the teachers were unwilling to compromise, and ultimately it was up to them. He suggested I get the withdrawal for the classes, so I'll drop those classes. I'm taking a semester break, as a lot of you suggested. Oh, and for the Reddit user who said to offer free housing for the first year as a scholarship, Amy thought it would be a great way to honor my sister. I'm not sure of the process for that, but Amy said she'd help me figure it out once I'm out of school. I'm happy Amy is back at home. It doesn't feel quite as empty as it did before. I'll update again if there are any other developments, but for now, I'm going to log out and let my attorney handle this. Thank you, everyone, for the advice. TLDR. I wasn't able to get extensions for classes, but they will allow me to withdraw. Dad said he wouldn't challenge me, but Mom is still going. It'll take time for her to prepare a lawsuit, and we are gathering evidence of her lack of contact and wishes. Sister's best friend Amy, fake name, is stepping in to help too. Relevant comments. Inevitable Water 4478 commented, don't let them bully you into paying anything until you consult your lawyer. I would also keep low contact with them and even look into the gray rock method. Your parents truly sound like they only care about money and not the actual person. No parent would say under their breath that they wanted to sue their only surviving child because they think they're entitled to the estate when they aren't. Those are people you don't want in your life often. Speaking from experience, if they continue to push you to sell the house, I would stop contacting them. OP replied, I have already sent the check for reimbursement of the funeral or wake celebration of life. They won't be getting another dime from me. Another comment from OP. I do have an estate attorney, but the attorney I was talking about was the one who helped create her will. He practices family law and litigation as well. He is a family friend of Amy's, so I trust him. I also have a real estate attorney because we had to draw up new leases for the tenants. P.S. For anyone reading, I will not be changing the rent, as some people feared. I think housing prices are absolutely absurd, and as long as they remain the good renters my sister documented them as being, I don't see an issue with them paying under the market rate. It seems wrong to surcharge $800+ per month when people honestly cannot afford it. Final update. I wanted to keep it mostly vague, but update you all. We settled prior to court for an undisclosed amount. She agreed to drop some things, example. Slander if I agreed to drop some things, example. Emotional distress. Side note, those are just examples, and most definitely not the things we discussed. We both came to the agreement that I could post whatever I wanted. Dad pushed the whole freedom of speech stuff. I said I wouldn't let her take a dime from me, but honestly, I was just too exhausted from it. I can't go into much detail, but I may make a new account and start posting all the SHT my mother has put me through since everyone by everyone. I mean, my parents knows about this one now. Amy is still being a kick-arse mama bear, and I was looking into adult adoption or changing my last name to hers. I want no ties to my parents. Anyway, thanks for the support and love. P.S. Yes, my father has been refunded for anything funeral related. Third story. My boyfriend of 7 years just abandoned me and ran away. His parents and friends too blocked me and told me not to contact them. It feels completely unreal. I'm 24, and I have been with this guy since I was 17. A quarter of my life, and basically my whole adult life. He was the first and only person I slept with. Nothing happened. We didn't have an argument. We had a great relationship. At least, in my opinion. One day we were cuddling on the couch, and the next I couldn't get a hold of him. He blocked me on everything. I was so worried at first. My first thoughts were that he was hurt, dead, or in a terrible accident. I only learned from a mutual friend that he basically moved halfway across the country. He is still alive, at least. He just doesn't want to talk to me. It's been 3 weeks now. What do I even do? Do I travel after him? I don't even know where to go. Do I give him time? I hope I'm not appearing like an overly obsessive girlfriend. But what the heck? 7 years. I need closure, even if it would be. You are ugly. I never loved you. I have found somebody else. Anything. Am I expecting too much? I can't just discard it after 7 years, like a used yogurt cup. Maybe I did something wrong, but I don't know what it could be without him telling me. I didn't cheat on him. I have always tried to be kind and caring. I wasn't a financial burden either. I paid for my own things and paid half of everything. I'm trying to think of all the things I could have done wrong. I had a terrible childhood. I was abused and still have some scars from cutting myself. Maybe he thought I was ugly from the scars or too depressed and sad at times. But he still could have told me. I would have understood. He and our mutual friend have both blocked me now, and I'm not getting any answers. I'm just sad and confused, and I don't know what to do. 3 weeks might not seem that long. Maybe he'll change his mind. I just don't know what to do or how to handle this. Comments. Which off theorist? Honestly, all I can say is, what the F? My heart hurts for you, but the mutual friend blocking you as well has thrown up something had to have happened, or that's what he's saying to people vibes. But really, no amount of cyber styling him or his friends is going to fix this. No amount of begging or all of the things you want to do. If he wanted to give you closure, he would. And he sucks beyond words for not telling you that if all was well, the more you chase answers, the crazier you will feel and look, even though you absolutely effing deserve those answers. I would get a therapist immediately and work on rebuilding your life without him. This will do some damage, for sure, so I'm serious about therapy. I'm sorry, OP. I wish I could answer what happened to you. OP, thank you so much for your kind words. At this point, it feels like no amount of therapy will make me feel okay. It's probably the best advice, but I'm currently in the staring at the wall phase and just asking myself why. I still have my cat to keep me company. She and her butthole in my face are some emotional support. At least, I love her. She's the best. It has only been 3 weeks. Maybe things will somehow be okay, and he'll come back or decide to talk to me. Something must have happened. I just wish I could help him. Whatever it is, gambling debt. Even if he had an affair, I just wish I could talk to him. Update. 10 days later. Short summary. My boyfriend of nearly 7 years left me, moved hundreds of miles away, and refused to talk to me. Even his parents told me that he doesn't want to talk to me, and that they can't force him to. A mutual friend, his friend, told me the same, and then blocked me as well. I was left confused, alone, and sad. Now, over 4 weeks later, he contacted me again, and we agreed to talk face to face at our place. I'll have to disappoint everyone from the start. There is no movie-worthy Yakuza Mafia story. What he told me happened was that he simply panicked and ran away. Apparently, I was asking too many questions about the future. If he ever wanted to get married, what he thought about children, etc. I also pushed him a lot to finally finish his degree and get a job. His main source of income is still his parents. He said he just couldn't handle it, saw his life as over, and needed to get away from it all. Then he started blaming his friend, who convinced him that He was wasting his 20s on just one girl. That same friend apparently also got him a job, which is why he moved hundreds of miles away. That job didn't work out, and he got fired after a few weeks. I guess that's why he's back now. I asked him why he hadn't at least talked to me and how hurt and worried I was. He said that he didn't want to make me cry, and that he didn't really want to break up. He wanted to prove that he could succeed at that job and then come back to me. Overall, a lot was said. We talked for over 2 hours, but that's the gist of it. He must have apologized 100 times, telling me how stupid he was to let his friend influence him. One piece of kindergarten-like logic stuck with me. He said, "We never broke up. I never said that I wanted to break up. We just took a break." In my mind, that sounded like, "Ha, you didn't say uno. We're still together." He basically promised me heaven on earth if we got back together. Breakfast in bed every morning. He'd do all the chores, what have you. He also swore that there was nobody else, and that he slept with no one else. In the end, he asked if he could stay because he hadn't been paid for that job, had used all his money, and had nowhere else to go. His parents live too far away, and he is on bad terms with the friend who got him the job. I felt a bit bad, but I told him no. I needed to process and think about everything. I did, however, agree to store some of his boxes to free up his car. So, that's where I'm at now. Sitting alone in my apartment with his boxes. One of them smells really bad, like moldy clothes. Maybe I'll wash those tomorrow for him, at least. Now I need to think about what to do with all of this, and what to do with myself. Part of me still loves him. We had so many great moments together before that, and he helped me through a lot. He helped me get away from my abusive mother and stepfather. He is the man I wanted to marry and maybe have children with. This is only my side of the story, too. I don't know everything he has to go through mentally. I can understand panicking. I don't know. I want to thank everyone who took the time to read all of this. It felt good to write it all down. I have no contact with my mother and stepfather, and I don't have a lot of friends because I'm a bit shy and not that outgoing. I don't have a lot of people to talk to about this. Sorry if it's too long. Thank you. Comments. Specialist after 511. If the job worked out, he wouldn't have come back. OP, that's what I was thinking, too. I also think that there was somebody else, but I don't know. Princess Pancake 97. If you take him back, what are you going to do if or when he runs away again when things get too real for him? How can you trust him to not leave you at the altar or leave you alone in the hospital with a newborn? What happens if you get sick or injured? Where will he be when things get hard with your potential future children? When do things get rocky in your relationship? When are there big life decisions to make together? How can you possibly trust him to not ghost you again? How can you feel secure enough to talk about these things if this is how he reacts? OP. I read nearly all the replies here. Thank you so much for your input. I probably needed to hear a lot of the things that were said. I thought about everything and won't be getting back together with him. The most important argument for me was, what if it happens again? 10 years from now, after we're married or have children? I wouldn't be able to handle it. And I still don't trust him with everything he said happened or didn't happen while he was away. I will figure something out with the boxes and everything else that needs to be handled. And I'll try to set clear boundaries when talking to him in the future. He isn't all horrible, despite how he acted. He saved me from my stepfather and was there for me in the years after. I owe a lot to him, but I think that also made me accept things and behaviors I shouldn't have, even before he left. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.